Welcome. Welcome. Good to see everyone join. Our online session this morning is fast is the new smart and 5 tips to smart manufacturing, to smart factories. It's lovely to see everyone that's joined. As a kind of precursor to today, I'll hand over to Annie very soon. But look, I think wherever we are, the world's waking up to AI. We see it, it really starting to engage in our lives, in our phones, in our work. And here's the thing, manufacturers really sit at that forefront of innovation. So it's been a busy time, for the last 20 years, the Data Shack, or over 20 years, the Data Shack, its kind of strapline is the home of analytics. But specifically around analytics, continual improvement, it's been a busy time as the Data Shack has launched a product called Sigmafi. So we'll touch on a little bit on that later. We'll talk really about some of the trends that we're seeing out in the marketplace. Certainly, we've been very busy as a team. We've been at the MTC recently. We've also been exhibiting at Smart Manufacturing. And we've spoken to a lot of factory leaders around this adoption and certain criteria there. So what we'll do during this session, we're going to look and focus on 2 or 3 things. Firstly, 5 tips to smart manufacturing and how we can really embrace this technology. We're going to touch on smart factories and smart factories in a box, how we can help you as factory leaders to really a safe and cost-effective path. And then we also want to touch on fast and why fast is the new smart.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Absolutely lovely to be with all of you this morning. I'm delighted to be with you this morning, and thank you for all of you attending. I actually gave this talk a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago now, 3 weeks ago now, at the Smart Manufacturing Expo, and we had quite a few people be a little bit late. That there were train delays, couldn't make it, and requested this session. But also for those of you who are brand new, we really appreciate you being here with us today. This talk is really sort of broadening on some research we've been doing in the last few months, last year at least, on how in manufacturing is AI being adopted, and how are factories really embracing digitization and becoming far more smart in the way that they embed connected data, analytics, simple BI, but also data science and AI, and embracing that. So specifically when we started talking, and there's a lot of research out there, just before the Smart Manufacturing Expo, actually, we had the Manufacturer magazine actually do their own study. And basically, if you look at in their research, they basically said that, speaking to factory leaders like yourselves, AI ranks as the 4th highest priority on all of their books, and that's really what they're most concerned about trying to embed in their business. Only 9% of those really have embraced it, and they're currently leveraging AI in some way or form. However, 63% of those people surveyed, and we found the same through speaking to customers we've been dealing with for the last 23 years, that they don't know where to start. It's a kind of a swear word, a new word, and things that scare them a little bit, and they don't know how to embrace AI within their factory environments. However, what I'm most concerned about is that in a rush to be left out, there will be mistakes made. I published an article before the actual event, speaking a little bit about these 5 tips, and that became my talk because it was well received. Just because a lot of our customers are asking us the same questions. We know from the research that this is a burning issue for a lot of our customers. And we really wanted to at least assure that from having experience from working with some of the best run blue chip factories globally, that we kind of have done this before. We understand the issues. We know what it takes to get this done, and trying to help our customers do it quicker. And therefore our the heading of the talk, fast is the new smart, because you do not have years. If you want to remain competitive, if you want to become competitive, you need to be adopting the latest technologies. So, when we first started, one of the takeaways we had for customers at the expo was a AI readiness assessment. Just because we have customers small and large. So in the UK, especially, there's a lot of SME type manufacturing, where we don't have crowds of people that know about AI. They don't have a data science or AI team embedded in their teams. We also have the very large guys with huge data science teams. And even those have told us that we've never tried these types of projects in an AI, in a factory space. We don't know where to start. We might have young, talented data scientists. They have not run these things at scale. We're a little bit scared that we may fail. A lot of the time, research I've seen from US manufacturing specifically, and customers we've spoken to there, is that they employ really large data science teams, and they really don't know where to get off the ground. It takes them up to a year to get projects going. It costs them upwards of $1 million. And that's where FAST comes in. Having experience, doing the right things from the start, making sure you don't make those mistakes, whether you do have a data science team, whether you don't. Don't stop. Don't be scared to get started. There are fast ways if you avoid certain roadblocks. And that's really what my 5 tips are all about, specifically, because knowing the questions get asked over and over again. So getting to those tips, my first tip is, do we, don't we? A lot of these customers are, again, scared. Do we start? That debate is over. You have to start. You are losing, the slower you go in adopting these technologies, it is going to make you less competitive than the guy right next to you that's adopting these technologies. You've got to somehow start, even if you start small. We have a large medical manufacturer that we worked with in the US, for which we did a feasibility study. Basically, very large data science organization within that company told them, we don't have data yet, new piece of equipment. We don't think it's possible. We don't think this is possible, putting a piece of AI algorithm on a piece of medical equipment that goes into ICUs. We can't get started because we don't have the data. Doing those kinds of things and working with people who've done it before, who know where to find the right data and how to help you get started. We started in small feasibility studies, got it started. The project was completed within 3 months. And we could at least tell them that with research data available, you can do this. The feasibility shows us that this is possible. And more importantly, we could test it out with your customer, who were physicians in ICU. And they told you that they would love the help of these algorithms, other than just using their own experience with that's not data-based. So guys, start right now. Don't wait. Start small, pick projects, pick low-hanging fruit. Do the assessments. There are really, really good pieces of literature out there. There's some I can recommend for you. Also, we can help you with to just avoid pitfalls. You can be fast. You can start. Don't be scared of starting. Every minute you're not embracing the connectedness and the AI features that's available today already. And that's been in development and been in testing for years and years and years, and being used for other purposes. Don't just not start or be too scared or reticent. You can start, even if you start small. The second tip here is, again, we work with very large manufacturers that have spent lots and lots of money on methodologies and equipment and tools and techniques like Lean Six Sigma. You guys work in manufacturing. You know this is the way you solve problems. This is the way that you optimize your plants. This is the way that you continually improve your products. A lot of the time, people you throw that baby out with the bathwater. You've spent so much time, energy, and money on training your teams on using these methodologies, acquiring some tech that actually help them. And having that mindset and culture change is huge within your business. Don't let that go. There are tools out there that fit really well with AI and data science methodologies that you can use and marry those methodologies. But make sure you don't throw away what you've spent money on. Use it and use it to go there faster because you can. If you've got a Lean Six Sigma program already within your business, you're more than halfway there because you've spent the money on the culture change, the way people speak, they speak the same language, they report on the right things and use the right techniques. However, make sure that the technology, the AI that you embed works alongside, not against what you've already spent money on. That's quite important because Lean Six Sigma has been extremely successful for a reason. It is a good methodology. Use those and make sure that your tech fits with your methodology, not the other way around. A lot of the time that, when we talk to people, we understand that they've spent money on looking at predictive processes within a smart factory or within a factory environment. You've got your data connected, you've got sensors and so forth. You've just not put the last building blocks together and put AI under the hood. So don't throw away what you've learned. These methodologies work across the value chain in your business. Don't just let it go. You've got all the best building blocks if you've already done this. You've got all the best building blocks to get you started a lot faster than you think because the analytical and AI methodologies fit in extremely well with your manufacturing and factory methodologies that you're already using, that your teams of people are used to. Enhance what they're doing versus start from scratch. Please don't do that. The third thing, and we run into this so many times. Most AI algorithms and the start of AI, I myself have a master's degree in statistics, and in my day when I studied it, you became an actuary. You worked in finance. You worked in insurance or something like that. So the first of these algorithms were not built for factories. They were not built for heavy maintenance and equipment and things like that. They were developed for other applications and people analytics and CRM and so forth. These types of industries have used it for years and years and years for those applications. We found that a lot of the time, the applications or the application of the algorithms are not taught at a factory level. But make sure and don't think that they are not applicable or AI is not applicable to a factory environment or to a manufacturing environment. And we work in heavy mining, we work in oil and gas. These things have been adapted. There are ways and means of working with these algorithms, and more they are the industrial level algorithms are far outweighing what has been done many years ago with older algorithms. So don't let it scare you guys, but make sure that when you work with AI, it is built for your factory. And it wasn't first developed for that, but there's enough out there. If you work with experienced practitioners, that's completely and only applicable to your environment. We have very many personas in a manufacturing environment. If you look at these 4 personas, we gave a talk a little while ago about specifically factory built apps. talking to the GM of a plant, Jeremy, who's my buddy here on the right with his suit. He's the GM. He needs very, very different data served up to him. He needs to make very different use of AI than perhaps Sally in the lab, than perhaps John, who's a process engineer, than perhaps Deborah, who runs a packaging department within a large plant. They each have different needs, but they are manufacturing level needs. And we need to assure that when we adapt these algorithms, when we adapt what we serve up for them to make decisions upon, it's built for them. It's not built for a banker or an actuary or an insurance agent. The fourth tip is research has told us that if you look at companies like Gartner, they're saying that by 2027, 50% of all your users will be daily users of super apps. Meaning an app, if you look at the 4 personas I spoke about earlier, they are each going to have a very different view. You know, if you look at either a fitness app or an app for reading or any kind of app that you're using today, they are very different depending on application. I'm not going to show John or Sally the same GUI, the same charts, the same analytics, the same data. I'm not going to be using the same algorithms to answer their questions or to speed up their time to understand what's going wrong or what to do to make it right. We need to be sure that we can serve up factory fit super apps to our users to make sure that when you adapt, when you building these smart apps under the hood, that they speak to the personas within your business and that they see what they need right this moment at your fingertips. We all know, I have grandchildren, lo and behold, they use apps, little as they may be, 2 of them under 5. They use apps, guys. We need to make sure, and don't think that the personas within your factory environments are not consumers of apps. We need to make sure that we serve this up to them in consumable chunks, in a way that they understand, in a way that makes sense to their daily tasks and their daily jobs. When you're deploying these kinds of things, make sure there's usage of it. Else you end up spending a lot of money. I work with businesses where there's 3 or 4 or 5 BI apps of choice within the business, and dashboarding and analytics tools, 1 or 2 data science heavy lifting tools. There's lots of coding happening, and a lot of the time there's money spent on building these things without the thought given to who's going to use these things, and can we serve it up in a consumable way. I've been providing output and reports to customers of when I analyze and build under the hood, try and understand very intricate math or stats that going on under the hood, and serving it up to them. How do I communicate it to a non-technical person, a non-AI, a non-geek like myself? And I am a geek. How do I serve it up to a person that is not used to that geek speak? How do I actually bring the right data to them in a way that it makes sense and they can make decisions from it? Think about that when you're deploying AI, guys. Think about your consumer. The last tip I want to talk about is, and I spoke about this earlier this year in March at the National Manufacturing Summit at the Manufacturing Technology Center. What about the talent? And a lot of the debate at the National Manufacturing Summit was around we don't attract the right talent in manufacturing. We can't attract people to our industry, especially youngsters that are leaving school, going to university, picking a career. We're not attracting them. Now, I'll tell you a little story, just for a little giggle. Is hopefully some 30 years ago, I may have looked like this girl. I'm a little bit older now, but I have a customer. This is a true story, if you will. Harry, and Harry works for a steel mill. As you can tell from my accent, I grew up and started my career in South Africa. I'm from British descent, but started my career as a very young consultant in my 20s, and Harry was my very first customer. And I still tell my junior staff that join us and are a little bit scared of seeing their first customer that when I walked into Harry's office, he said to me, "Good morning, sweetie, and where's your boss?" And so it was hilarious. It's funny that Harry and I still have a relationship today. I spoke with Harry and said, "Well, sir, he's making us some coffee, but let me start so long. And if you think I'm stupid, you can chase me right out." Um, the point I'm trying to make with this little story is this: we've got teams of people in our manufacturing environment, in our engineering environments, that may not look like the kind, or may look very much like the kind of talent that you think you're trying to attract. Just know there's a whole new world out there. Uh, your teams of people that you can uplift, that want to be data literate. In my talk at the MTC, I really spoke a lot about how do we train, how do we take. We've got an oil and gas customer, a very large one, that have operations in the US, lower 38, meaning sort of Texas and Oklahoma, in Alaska, in Canada. They also have operations in Norway, and then they have operations out of the east in Singapore. And so in 2019, they gave us a remit to say, we want you to train within 3 years, at least 300 of our engineering, geology, metallurgical engineering staff with data literacy skills and data science and AI basic skills, understanding what it is and how they can use the data they have to start understanding what algorithms can be built whilst we're upskilling them. Well, guys, that was 2019. We managed to train about 400 people in a period of 2.5 years. That contract since still ongoing. We're actually training, starting with their business user now on generative AI and what it is. When you do things like this, and embed data literacy programs within your business and make sure your people have access to those qualifications. A lot of the time also, why do we not attract talent is because we can't pay them, or they get attracted into IT, into business. And if we give them the chance to up their skills, to up their sellability in the market, we are able to pay them more, and they become multi-skilled workers. Funniest thing, I've got a roaming member of my team going into Texas because there's assets that my customers acquired, where people are literally and what they called a roughneck, and it's not derogatory. I thought it was, but in oil and gas it's not. That this person is actually a multi-skilled worker. They're supposed to be able to run an oil drill rig, and they're supposed to be able to analyze data and do multiple things and manage their little sector of the world. Teaching these people basic data literacy skills, and what you see on their face, and uplifting them in their careers. It's really valuable to the business, but also to the person that you're training. So really, Harry's skills and my skills converge, and we've done some amazing work together in his steel plants. He still works for, not the same one, but he's still my customer. This is now sort of 25 years down the line. I started Data Shack after starting to work with Harry. So guys, what I'm trying to tell you is start nurturing the talent you have. You can train them, but also, if people see that you're an organization that's serious about moving forward and digitizing, they will invest their career in you. So just my 2 cents worth of saying, don't think that your workforce that's highly technical cannot be trained with data literacy skills, and don't think people with data literacy skills cannot be attracted within your business. I'm not going to be spending too much more time, but I do want to talk to you just a little bit about what Al said, and I'm almost done, guys. I don't want to steal your whole day, about why do we say fast is the new smart. We are trying what we've from 20 years of experience. We've tried to work with our customers. Things have been asked of us over and over again. How do I make sure I avoid certain issues I have within my business? I have loads of data. I just can't get one story. I have various areas in the supply chain of my business. People don't speak the same language, and I can't compare department A to department B. I'm the GM of a plot. I can't get a very quick high level view of how each of these are doing in comparison to one another. From really my raw materials to finished goods that goes to my customers, but also my distribution chain, my supply chain. All of those kinds of things are questions of a high level a GM wants to ask themselves. You saw the four personas I was talking about. If I look at each one of them, they need quick access to what they need to know today. And I need all of that to talk to each other. And don't think the technology doesn't exist. Smart Factory in a Box solutions, based on experience, we have built it, and we've built it so that we can help our customers start quickly, because whether they're in fast-moving consumer goods, we've got customers that make cigarettes, British American Tobacco, work in their manufacturing plants, SAB Miller, bought by Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, in their Six Sigma, their world-class manufacturing programs. They, for 20-something years, asked us, how do I get this connected? How do I reuse the methodologies I've taught my teams? And how do I actually make sure that the metrics are the same across my business, so I can at least understand where we're at? What do we need to fix? What do I need to fix when I walk in the morning? So whether you're from a leadership team and you need to see a whole dashboard of every production line and understanding what's good and bad within your process this morning, when you walk in your plant, be able to drill down. And if it's your department, which areas of your department, which production lines are not functioning so well today? What is out of spec? What do I need to go fix? What are the first burning things? And guys, the technologies exist today. Streaming analytics exists. The tech is under the hood. We've built it into our product called Sigmafi. Smart tech is under the hood. Data virtualization to bring all the data from all of these various, from your incoming supply through your manufacturing value chain up to your finished goods, bringing all of that data together. You have MES systems, you've got ERP systems, you've got process control sitting in between, you've got quality control data and LIMS databases in your labs and your QA labs and so forth. Making sure we can serve this up. If I'm a leadership person, I don't want to look at a quality control chart like a person in the lab, to look at one product, one measurement that I'm trying to measure in a lab and understand and simulate what it's doing. If I'm a process engineer, what you see at the screen at the bottom here is that's neural networks trying to predict for the process engineer, if this state of redness in this department continues, what is it that I need to do? What is going to happen if this continues for the next few hours? What do I need to do to optimize? And so forth, guys. So making sure that when you embed AI, AI is embedded here natively, so that people who need to make smart decisions can do so quickly. Their data's there, their analytics is being streamed to them, their GUI looks the way that they expect it to look, and there's smart AI under the hood. So make sure that when you investing in these things, you think of all of this. This is a nice little pic from the Smart Factory Expo of our stand. and our team engaging and speaking to customers. But you know, guys, the last sort of note I want to make is a good data fabric. Our data integration partner, data virtualization partner, did this a bit with us, Denodo. Denodo is a good data virtualization product. What we actually make sure of, and they're not the only one, of course, that we represent. There's two of them in the market that we represent. But what I wanted to sort of bring to your attention is, if you're building a house and all the piping and plumbing, the data pushing to a tap, is not, there's breaks in the pipes, you don't have a water tank to store the data, and so forth and so forth. It doesn't matter how the pretty stuff I just showed you will never work without the right plumbing under the hood. And so we make sure that when you've got your data served up to you, that it's done so in the best possible way, and that all the pipes are working, and when you open the tap, water comes out. So I'm going to stop here just by also telling you that we had some flyers, and we can certainly share these with you if I've given you some food for thought here about am I ready? Do I think I'm ready? Am I part of the 63% of people that are scared to start? I don't know where to start. We really try and work with you. We do readiness assessments. They are very quick. We can actually make sure that you do it the right way, you do it quickly. So please ask us if you'd like to at least have some view of what this assessment entails. Josh is on the call here. He's reached out to you. Elise and our team are on the call. Please reach out to them if you've gotten invites from them, or from Amber, who's also in our marketing team, or to Al, guys. So please reach out to the team. We are there, ready and waiting to help. Lastly, this and a lot more that I spoke about this morning is available as an ebook. If you're interested in grabbing a copy of that, again, reach out to any of us. We're more than happy to share that. Please ask if you'd like more info around the readiness assessment, Sigmafi for that matter, or access to the ebook.